mind is supposed to serve as an open window to new and higher intelligence for the future. If you do not think that there is a new knowledge, then that means that you are not receiving it, which means your window is closed. That's a statement that I posted today on Facebook. I did that because a lot of ignorance is circulating amongst our people. It has been for a long time concerning advanced knowledge, higher intelligence. We have this mindset that there's nothing new under the sun, that there's no such thing as new knowledge. And that statement is partially correct. Partially. There is nothing new in this rotation on the planet. However, there is something new coming from beyond it. Okay? This planet works in a rotation, revolves around the sun, is shaped like a circle. Everything works in a rotation in cycles, circles. Ciphers is what the 5% said. The Masons talking about degrees. Everything works in a circle. Everything works in a rotation here. Okay? Which means that there's another existence that works in a line, and a straight line of intelligence. That line is continuous. Both represent, there's one that represents the infinite state, infinite meaning inside affinity, inside of the circle that keeps revolving, and the other one represents eternal knowledge, that which continues on a straight line. I'm going to go into that because the eternal knowledge is starting to make its way into the circle. It's making a piercing break in the circle. So now there is a steady flow of higher knowledge coming from beyond the sun into this solar system. We're going to share that knowledge tonight, bits and pieces of it for those of you who can take it in. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mentel Radio, and tonight we're talking about the new knowledge from beyond the sun, which we refer to as MENTELLECT, MENTELLECT, MENTELLECT. Now, MENTELLECT, those who think that, oh, that's a made-up word, we come with a made-up word. What's this guy, the intellectual, talking about made-up word, MENTELLECT? Well, let's think about that for a minute. It's a made-up word, right? I say that it's a future word. Future word. It's now in existence. It's being used by people within the state of Mentel, and it's going to be used all over the place. So now we're coming into a state or into a time where that word is going to start to be used, because it was time before all words came into existence. However, the word mentellect, or from the word tell, mental, all of that, that is actually from our tongue. That's from our language. It can be found within in bits and pieces within the ancient Kemetic language and the Sumerian, from the word el, the word tel, which means mountain or hill. All these words can be found, men, amen, all that, E-N-N, which means Lord, or, from the Sumerian. All these words were adopted and taken into modern language, all right? Modern language, which is English. Though I explained that there's really no such thing as an English language. However, it is the most dominant language on the planet today. English, E-N-G-L-I-S-H, English. I said that the word in, certain words never change. The word in means Lord, as in you had your Sumerian gods Enki and Enlil, which meant lords, the water, Lord of the sky, and all that, lords, which translated into your amen, which is what y'all say at the end of y'all prayers. The N is always there, E-N, meaning Lord. Now you're speaking the language which dominates this planet today, which is English. A lot of people say Spanish and other languages, but no, it really doesn't. English. You can go anywhere on the planet and find someone speaking English. English. The American culture, or the American pop culture, is dominant all over the planet, and that's done by design for a reason. Right? However, as I was explaining, that English words, well, all languages are evolving into a greater language. They're all separate. They're all separate speech tones and patterns that are evolving into a higher language, because everything that was introduced onto the planet was introduced by an evolutionary group, by an evolutionary race of beings. Okay? That's who introduced your knowledge into existence. It wasn't introduced by people who thought in a circle, because there's two different states of intelligence. This is Mentellect. We are revolving in a circle, which is a submental state. Okay? In this submental state, we receive a rotation of ideas that are constantly put in and recycled all the time, right? Which is why we came up with the idea, or a lot of our people had this idea, which they got from the white man, that there's nothing new under the sun because these ideas are in constant rotation. Then you have next to it, right, for those other people who are elect, those who are not thinking on a submental state, those who are actually thinking on a mental state or a mentellectual state, as we refer to it, that we see the line of mental knowledge. Or you have, like I said, the submental, which is based in the circle, and you have the mental knowledge, the high mental knowledge, which is based in the line, continuous, eternal knowledge. Which is why when we hear the term that there's nothing new in the sun, we acknowledge it for what it is, but we know there's a knowledge that's higher. We acknowledge that there's a knowledge that's piercing into the revolutionary circle. Evolutionary knowledge from those evolutionary future beings who we are connected to, the elect on the planet are connected to, is piercing into the circle to bring about new knowledge. Factually, logically, when new things come about, people say there's nothing new under the sun. When new technologies come about, when new ways of thinking, when we, and I always go back to this because this is relevant because it's based in logic. When new technologies came on the planet, like your TVs and your radios and all this thing in the last millennium, in the 20th century, from the 1800s of us riding around in carriages and buggies, then we got cars and computers and all this stuff, where did that come from? Don't sit here and say that that stuff existed before. Where did it exist at? Don't go into no writings on the walls and stuff like that. That was in Egypt, and when they didn't have none of that in Egypt, they was dealing with electricity, sure. But where did all that technology come from? It was not here. It came from someplace else, beyond the circle, beyond the revolutionary cycle. Because had we relied on knowledge that was already here under the sun, we wouldn't have had these things. We'd still be riding around in carriages and horses and buggies. So obviously that knowledge had to come from somewhere, right? People didn't just get smart. You have a big jump in knowledge. Technology, things like that, you have a big jump. Usually the ideas that people develop as they on their own are called philosophies, right? However, you can have a bunch of philosophies, which is what black people deal in today. The majority, 99% of our people deal in philosophies that they got from the white man. Philosophies are all trumped by one thing, are all killed by one thing, and that is logic. One piece of logic kills all the philosophies. It makes you put sense and sensibility into the philosophies and the ideas that people are trying to feed you, and that's something our people don't do. Because it requires thinking, and our people don't think. That's factual. Our people do not think. We don't think about things like, for example, when people introduce high math to us, they talk about calculus and what else? Trigonometry and all these other things, which are nothing more than cold philosophies on math from the Greeks and your Greeks and your Greeks passed down to the Romans, but they're nothing but codes on mathematics that they came up with. There's no such thing as high math on the planet. There's no such thing. You understand? Everything is 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. That's mathematics. Period. Pretty much. That's it. Everything else is they use philosophy, and they add words and sentences and X's and things like that. Everything that has nothing to do with numbers. Yet our people fall for that and call it high math and think these people are saying something deep and heavy, when all they're doing is coming with codes on mathematics because they don't want you to understand, or what they do is they create secret codes and things like that only certain elite amongst them understand. I.e., this is what they call, when they produce, what they say they got geniuses. Basically, if you understand the codes that they're coming up with in the mathematics, then they call you a genius. All right? There's no such thing as high math. Just codes. We have to dispel the whole myth of higher knowledge on this planet, because all higher knowledge is basic. So-called higher knowledge is basic. People don't understand basic things. People don't understand logical things. That's why you're always given philosophy on this planet, people's opinions. And certain ones of these people who are giving the opinions, some of them do have a bit of logic, but they're not going to share it with you. They're not going to share the sense and the sensibility of what they're teaching to you. They'll give you philosophies, they'll give you high math and all these things, when the only thing that we should be drawing in on is logic, chosen sense. We don't refer to it as common sense anymore within the state of mental. We refer to it as chosen sense, because a lot of our people do not have common sense. It was common at one time to our people because, the majority of our people were thinking. We weren't under the mindset of the white man and the rest of the human race, right? And we thought on our own. But now, since we've been under their mindset, we've been under their sub-mental state, meaning beneath our mental state, beneath our natural way of thinking, we have to rely on their philosophy. This is why you have division amongst our people. But Mentellect is meant to bring the elect, the higher thinker, the ones who are thinking logically on a higher level, together again in the state of mental. That's what we're introducing, the knowledge of Mentellect, an evolution that has taken place in the planet. Mentellect came from beyond the sun, and certain people are receiving the knowledge of Mentellect in this day and time because they are starting to think logically. This is nothing spooky. This is evolution. It's mental evolution. Just as there was a mental evolution in the last 20th century with the computers and the technology and all the things I told you about, just like the Egyptians had a mental explosion, which a lot of people call a mental explosion. That mental explosion is actually that entering of that higher knowledge from the eternal state into this infinite state, or this revolutionary circle. That's your explosion. That explosion took place and when they talked about the comet Bennett, March 16th, that came here in 1970. The astronauts, or the people at NASA who found it, they said that they saw, let me take a sip of my tea. Hold on a second. They said upon that comet coming here, they said that they saw, one of the astronauts said he saw 010101010101 on it. And they were trying to break it down in mathematical equation and what did the 010101 mean, right? And what they found it in ancient writing too with the 010101. What does that really mean, right? We know it to mean two states of existence in the state of mental: the revolutionary state, the circle, and the linear state, which is the evolutionary cycle. And not cycle. I'm sorry. Now let me say cycle. But the linear line of higher knowledge, and the revolutionary circle, which governs this planet, just as it governs the other planets. Revolutionary knowledge. Certain forms of revolutionary knowledge that were meant to be circular on each planet, that were locked into that planet by way of dimensions, were meant to keep a rotation going. And it works with the rotation around the sun, because the sunlight is used to send or transmit messages. There's electricity in sunlight. There's power. There's transmission going in that light that comes to the planet. And certain knowledge is meant to go in a rotation around this planet. It's locked in. Okay? Same way on other planets, they have a history there. They have a circular history there. That's why you follow a cycle on each planet. There's a life cycle here. You understand that? So with each bit of knowledge that's locked in, with each dimension of knowledge that's locked into this planet that's moving in a rotation, all right, there's going to be a time set where the sun rotates around the planet where advanced knowledge will come from that eternal state, from that eternal world. That's going to come from that linear state to send in or open up the circle to send in advanced knowledge, because that would mean that it's time to evolve the planet or evolve the people or move them to another level. That is all determined by a race of advanced beings, the ones who created this planet, the ones who you in religion refer to as gods, because gods or supreme beings or whatever you call them are nothing but advanced beings who created this planet, who created this world, created this solar system, and who black people are connected to. on this planet. You are connected to that God race, who we refer to as the Amen beings. Amen beings. You know, as in Amen, as in what they were saying, Amen in Egypt, the N people, and or the lords in Sumeria, the Amen that you say at the end of your prayers, the Amen in Egypt, all these same people, same race of people. It's the reason why you seal your prayers off in religion with the word Amen or Amin in Islam. That represented a race of people, a God race, who your religious leaders have you secretly bowing down to. They're not going to share that with you, though. You think it means so be it, so it's said. No, it's not. There's true, real knowledge of a God race of people who've been coming here to this planet, who created this planet, who represent that higher form of intelligence that is on the planet, and they let higher knowledge through this planet as they choose. That's the reality. Certain ones of our people who are in tune, they're going to get it. Those of our people who are not going to get it. They're not going to be able to tune in. You understand that? This is Mentellect. Some of our people will receive this higher knowledge that I'm giving to you. I'm going to share. Some of our people will not. Some of our people are in a dense state. The majority of you people who are caught in religion and these things, you're in that rotative state. Your mind is closed. You can't receive anything. You people who are in masonry, you people that are in metaphysics, you people who are in moral science, y'all can't receive it because your mind moves in the rotation of those blocks of your religion. Your mind is sealed off by those blocks. Because how you know that is that you won't come out. You understand? It's the same thing. It's like when you're in elementary school and it's time to graduate, it's time to move on to something higher. For those of our people who have an ultra standing, Mentellect is that higher. It is that new knowledge from beyond the sun. Like I said, a lot of our people will not get this, but it's not meant to. That's why it's called Mentellect. That knowledge which is for the mentally elect. Linear knowledge dictates that all change on this planet is coming about. Evolutionary change is coming about. We are going through an evolution. You have to first acknowledge that we are not part of the human race. Our people are not even ready for that. That the so-called black man and black woman, we're not part of the human race. We are a whole different species. You understand that? We are a whole different species. Our people, you got some of our people out here teaching on YouTube, that we, the mankind. Now they starting to teach and say mankind and the white man and the rest of that got straight hair and that, they part of, they not part, that mankind and human is the different and whatnot. And that's false. Mankind and human race are the same thing. The word hue, they get stuck on the word hue because they said the word hue means color and we're people of color and we are not people of color. That's a lie. The word hue, from the original definition of it, from our ancient Kemetic tongue, when we were advancing or evolving in knowledge, meant created, to be created. It didn't mean color. Color came as a modern definition in this language from Latin. Excuse me, I took a sip of my tea. So no, that's the word hue, man, means created men. Created men and women, which encompasses your white race, your East Indians, your Chinese, your Arabs. That is your human race. That is your created race. We are the Amen beings. You understand that? We are the Amen beings, meaning the eternal people. The word men means eternal. You understand? We are the eternal people from the eternal state who have fallen into a rotative state or a infinite state, a circular state. Okay? And we're trapped in. You understand that? We're trapped in. We're trapped into this infinite state right now. And some of our people are trying to turn on mentally to connect to something. See, we didn't know what we were saying in religion when we were saying we're trying to receive something. Our people kept saying we're trying to receive. I'm trying to receive what you're saying. I'm trying to receive what you're saying. Why did we keep saying that? Why did we say certain things like receive? It hit me when my own grandmother would say things like mine out, boy. She would say mine out. M-I-N-D, mine out. Why would she say that? You understand that? What did that mean? They were in tune with the mind on a primitive level. because they've been taken away from their knowledge. They were trying to tune into something. They understood that it was based, their connection, what they say with God, was based on reception, receiving, connecting to something. They were trying to connect to that eternal state of knowledge. They were trying to connect outside of this rotative circle, outside this revolutionary cycle. They were trying to connect outside to receive higher knowledge, because knowledge is power. Real knowledge is power. Knowledge can get you, true knowledge, true intelligence can get you beyond your condition. It can move you out from up under people. It is the only thing that's going to save the black man and black woman in the future. This eternal knowledge, this linear knowledge, that is the thing that's going to save the black race. Because if we stay mentally in this rotation of thought, within this revolutionary mindset under the beast, we're going back into bondage under the beast. Because, as I said, the human race, there is no evolution for the human race. There is no forward motion for the human race. They were created in a rotation. They were created on this planet, which means they are under the law of rotation and gravitational pull. They're under the revolutionary law here, which means they are under the life cycle. You understand? The cycle of life. Don't they tell you about the cycle of life, the circle of life? They're under that. You're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to be under that. That's the law they were under. We were over or in tune with a different law altogether. This evolutionary law, or this knowledge of mentellect, which connects us to the evolutionary state, or that linear state of higher knowledge, advanced knowledge. There is higher knowledge coming in, but to a lot of our people, they're not going to accept it because the white man didn't say it. You understand? In this new cycle, or should I say in this evolutionary state that we're about to go through, where the circle or the cycle has been pierced, you cannot rely on him anymore. You black people that sat up here and relied on him and read his books because you needed him to do your thinking for you, you're not going to be able to rely on him anymore, because he's going to be like, he don't know. You understand that? You're not going to be able to rely on him anymore. Ultra standing will be complete acknowledgement. Our people who coming into the knowledge of mentellect will have complete comprehension, way beyond everyone else. I promise you that. There is new knowledge under the sun, people, for our people who are supposed to be on an evolutionary scale first mentally, before everybody. You're supposed to be on a separate path of existence from the human race. They're supposed to keep moving in a circle. You're supposed to move beyond them. You're supposed to be the receivers of higher knowledge, as the evolutionary, or those almond beings, or that descendant of those God race people here. Those almond beings here. You are the descendants of that advanced race of people. So you're supposed to receive that higher knowledge. Now, to a lot of our people who are tuned in to the human beings who've mixed your seed, who have these genetics in y'all, what I'm saying sound like BS, I know, to some of you, but to those people who tuned in, who could really hear my words, it makes logical sense. Because, we don't really, cause like I said, these are the same Negroes that's sitting around here talking about, oh, he ain't get that. With a book, where can I find that in the book? Y'all programmed to do that. You programmed to run to the white man because he's your God. Because whatever he said must be true. And I don't care if it's the Israelites, the Muslims, the Christians, the 5%, all y'all, a lot of y'all are programmed to do that. You'll run right to him. The metaphysicians, you run right to him looking for him because he's your God. You look to him for higher knowledge. You're not looking to a black man. You're not looking to a so-called black man as the window to higher knowledge. You're not looking for that, because that's that who this nigga think he is mentality. Willie Lynch, y'all call it. You're not looking to the black man for that. So we need, as higher knowledge, it has to be based in logic. It has to make sense. It has to be able to be practiced for the evolution of our people. That's what higher knowledge is. It has to be practical. It has to be able to perfect you, perfect a people. If it cannot perfect a people, then it means nothing. Has any of these knowledges perfected us? Are they working on perfecting us in this day and time? All the knowledge that we had from those last millenniums, it served us a purpose to a certain point, but can it perfect us now? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Because in Mentellect, we talk about space and time and things like that, and we talk about all of that stuff. Because Mentellect is not only dealing with the black race, it's not dealing with just white and black, it's dealing with the so-called universe. It's dealing with time and precision and things like that on this planet. Mentellect is all knowledge. It is an eternal knowledge. There's no ending to this knowledge. I had a simple-minded Negro going to ask me, well, teach me about Mentellect. What? How do I teach you in 5 minutes about Mentellect? That's an eternal knowledge. There's no end to this. It's not like the 5% nation. It's not like Islam and whatnot. That's where your mind is at, because you figure it's a rotation of thought. You can pretty much teach everything about Islam, Christianity, Judaism, 5%ism, metaphysics. You can teach all that stuff in like about 10 minutes. You know, you'll tell them that it's based on degrees, laws, statutes, commandments. You can teach all that in 10 minutes because it was a created knowledge. It's a limited knowledge. Anything that you can teach in less than 10 minutes, anything that you can sit down and talk about in less than 10 minutes is a created knowledge. It's not real knowledge. It's artificial knowledge. That's all our people been studying since we got here. Artificial knowledge that the white man tossed down to us. Any real intelligence, you cannot, it's a lifelong thing. It's continuous. That's what Mentellect is. So there you have it. We have the knowledge of Mentellect. Linear knowledge, advanced knowledge. Mentellect has been received. You're right, brother. Mentellect has been received, and it will be shared with the elect. Won't be shared with the 99% because you niggas not going to get it anyway. Y'all not going to get it. It's not for y'all. Y'all not going to get it. It's for those who are coming out of the 99%. Our people are amongst the 99%. I said this knowledge is for the elect. You understand? Revelation and all that. They knew what they was talking about. That word has that. The English language kept on. The white man was programmed mentally and sent messages and transmitted messages to keep our certain words in his English language, to get to us in this day and time as messages. And some of us tuned in. Some of us didn't. There's a reason, I'm going to say it again, there's a reason why the English language is dominating all the languages on the planet. Why the white man is in power today. You understand? There's a reason. It's all serving a purpose. Everything, our history here, and even up to the point where we're going, we're receiving linear knowledge beyond the sun. It was meant for us to receive that. We were actually supposed to come here and set up the first society, which is known as America today, Amenreka. We were supposed to come in and set that up. You understand? Not the white man. But being that we got mangled in with the Asians, we got our mission thrown off, and we started producing the so-called Native American from this mixture with the Asians, the Chinese, and the black, which we wasn't supposed to do. They all mixed in with them. We wasn't supposed to do that. We're not supposed to mix in with mankind, because what it does is it throws off our line of evolution, and it alters their revolutionary state. You're not supposed to mix in with them. Same way we're not supposed to accept any of their knowledge today. We're not supposed to accept any of it. There's a higher knowledge for us. There's a God knowledge for us. And there is a human knowledge for them. There is, I'm going to say it again, there's an almond knowledge for us, i.e. higher intelligence, and there is a human information for them. We are supposed to be receiving intelligence. They are supposed to be getting information, not the other way around. And we're not supposed to be receiving the same information as them, because they think in a formation for a reason. Because they are artificial people. They are supposed to think in a circle. We're supposed to think in a straight line, because we're supposed to be leading the world into the future. We are the leaders on this planet. The only way you're going to lead is by future thought. You can't lead by past knowledge. You can't lead from history. You can't lead talking about ancient Egypt and Sumeria and the Moors and all this stuff that done happened thousands of years ago. How the hell you going to lead people into the future with that? You can't. That's why you black people going to always be behind, because you want to stay stuck in the past. But there's a new knowledge that's come to lead our people into the future, the knowledge of Mentellect. I said it, and I stand on it. I said new knowledge for a new people, the Mentellectuals, the Mentellian race. that are coming out of the black race. Those people that were spoken about in the book of Revelation, the 144,000. And we don't give a damn what the 99% think about this. This ain't for you because y'all niggas not thinking anyway. Y'all, like I told you before, y'all just existing. Y'all not living. Y'all a bunch of animated stick figures. Not talking to you. You understand that? And I'm not trying to be nasty. I hope people don't take this wrong because I'm not trying to be nasty to anybody. It's really not. But if you 2/3 or you 99% don't understand it, then that's fine. It's not for you to understand. It's not for you to get. It's not, you damn sure gonna understand it. It's not for you. People might say, oh, you need to be more humble, brother, when you giving out the knowledge and stuff like that. Well, for what? For what? We know what you niggas do to humble people. We know what you niggas do to people who have humility. You look to humiliate them down the line. That's why you want them to be humble and have some humility. You don't tell a goddamn white man that. You don't tell him, oh, why don't you be humble? He'll tell you he's the God of this earth. He does what he want to do, and you niggas bow to it, and you don't say a damn thing. You don't challenge the white man. I have some simple-minded Negro. I'm not even gonna name it. I'm not even gonna call his name out. Some simple-minded nigga that challenged me and whatnot for what I was saying. And I'm saying I'm not up here to bash on my people and whatnot. I love my people. I'm doing this because I love my people. Sometimes I don't want to do this, and I don't want. I said hell, it'd be easier if I was just out here just trying to get money and start my own business and do all that. That'd be easy. That's nothing. It's easy to get money. That ain't nothing to me. Got my own little business. I'm gonna expand it. It's nothing. This is the hard job, trying to get my people out from amongst the black race, from amongst the 99%, that evolutionary people, because we have to breed a new race coming out of us, a new set of children, an advanced race, a God race. That's my job. I'm not here. This ain't no African knowledge. This ain't no Pan-African beating on drums and Shango crap. This ain't no goddamn masonry and Moorish. We're not here to promote that old stuff from the past. Y'all want to do that? Y'all want to stay stuck in that rotation, the same stuff? You do that. You do that. I ain't here for that. I'm not here to keep teaching that stuff. You understand? And a lot of our people who claim they know and whatnot, y'all stuck in Egypt and all this other stuff, that's for y'all, man. That's why I said we was teaching our people who was 42 years and younger, because their minds are open to this higher knowledge. Majority of you people that's over 42, born before 1970, before that comet hit this goddamn planet, that comet Bennett hit that planet and opened up this circle, and let this linear knowledge in, this knowledge of MENTELLECT that started coming in, where it tells you in the book of Revelation that it would take 42 months, where it was representative of 42 years for this knowledge to take effect. And that 42 years represents the year 2012. Right now, y'all don't get it because you're still looking for the white man. That's secretly who you looking for. You still looking for your 401 goddamn K plan. You still doing your workouts. You still doing your yoga. You still smoking your weed. You niggas still got your pants down. You still playing your PlayStation. So we're not talking to you, but the 1% of our people is amongst you. You understand? Don't you understand that we was all gearing up to this when Marcus Garvey came, when Honorable Elijah Muhammad came, when Dr. York was on the scene pushing hard in the 70s and the 80s and 90s, they're still pushing to this day. But when they was out here pushing, they was pushing toward the evolution, brother. That's what the whole sister, they was pushing for the evolution. They the ones that was talking about 1970 first. I'm the third one in that line talking about 1970, and now the evolution is being verbalized. I'm the third one in that line talking about this evolution. A lot of y'all up here, y'all don't fell into that whole mindset of, now we just gonna go back to masonry. We're gonna still keep talking about the same passwords. We're still gonna keep wearing the funny hat. We're still gonna keep begging the white man to obey some treaties. God damn, y'all still doing that? Y'all that hungry? Y'all that desperate? Y'all gonna keep in this madness, this circle of madness? Y'all don't see this? In the face of higher intelligence that's here. And you go, what higher intelligence? Brother, I just told you. That's why I said it's not gonna be for the majority of our people. Because their mind is set that the only change that's really gonna come is gonna come through the white man, because they still vibrate on that submental frequency. They still under his cycle. They're still under his mindset. They still vibrate on that low mental frequency with him. So when we bring stuff like that, it's like trying to raise that vibration, that mental vibration up. You can't do it. To them, this is BS. You understand? That's fine. It's supposed to. It's supposed to. You know what it's supposed to sound like to you? It's supposed to sound like static when you cut on the radio and you're not picking it up. You're not receiving it. You can't receive it because you vibrate on a low frequency. You understand? Just like some radios don't pick up all that frequency, your mind is not meant to pick that frequency up. Your level of intelligence is not meant to pick it up. So it's not going to go into you. You're not going to be able to get it. But that's okay. Like I said, the elect will. We'll be right back. Our people don't really want ultimate power on the planet. They really don't. Only thing our people got a bum mentality, the majority of our people. They just want food, clothing, and shelter. That's all they want, food, clothing, and shelter. They got a bum mentality. So how do you explain people you coming to the point where you're going to rule this whole planet like it's supposed to be? When it's in the hands of this new race that's coming here, that's going to take up residence in the bodies, in the shell of the elect. The true elect, the mentellectuals, the ones who've made themselves blank. What I mean by that is those who have cleared out all of the filth and the nonsense knowledge from the past millennium and who are receiving higher intelligence, higher power. See, because it's easy to feed people. It's easy to put schools up and get money and whatnot. To our people, that's still a goddamn stumbling block because that's all you want. So they know how to feed that primitive nature in our people, food, clothing, and shelter. Yeah, y'all got food, clothing, and shelter here. But y'all can't build schools for your children. You can't do little simple things like that. You know, we don't have to go through the things we go through in society. We choose to. Black people choose to. Y'all own worst enemy. The 99% are their own worst enemy. You understand? Because all that has to be done, and it's very simple. If you want higher knowledge, you want divine knowledge, which is coming to our people. If you really want higher knowledge, if you want divine knowledge, supreme knowledge, all that supreme intelligence, real power on the planet, then sacrifice what it is you had from the old. That's all. Sacrifice it. Give it up. Give up your Islam. Give up your Christianity. Give up your Judaism, your Israelitism. Give up your 5%ism. Give up your Moorish science. Give that all up. Blank out. Blank the hell out. You know what I mean? Get rid of all of it. Get rid of your ego. Make yourself an empty shell. Because what happens when you make yourself an empty shell? You receive. That's what I did. That's what I did. I was a Muslim. I was a Christian. I was a Mason. I did all that stuff under Dr. York. I did it all. I gave it up. I cleared my mind out. He helped me. That man helped me. And I always said, people say, oh, he was a student of Dr. York, and I was trying to hide. Nigga, I ain't trying to hide nothing. I love the Master Teacher. I love Dr. York. You understand? I love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But those men raised my mental vibration to a point where I can receive MENTELLECT right now. Advanced knowledge from the future beings of our people. My children, my grandchildren, they are the elect. They are the God race. I lived through them. You lived through them. We live through this future race that's coming. That's why I focus on the children, on the next generation, 1970 and under, because you old niggas, y'all are messing up. You niggas are messing up. You'll come in here with your goddamn Islam, your Christianity, your Judaism. You won't accept MENTELLECT because you got this mindset. You niggas still got that old Willie Lynch slave mentality. Oh, who this nigga think he is? And some of you young people got it. Y'all just mess it up. When we start receiving, and I'm doing it, I'm getting it. That's why I'm sharing it with y'all. We are turning on the elect. But you old niggas, y'all mess up everything, man. You want to bring your Islam, you want to bring your goddamn Qurans and talk about Muhammad and in the Bible and all that old crap. That ain't doing a damn thing for you, but you just because you niggas want to be heard. You understand that? Stay away from us, man. This ain't for you. I'm not saying we got no age discrimination against older people who mind, who are willing to blank out and do what I say. Blank out. If you can't do that, if you want to bring that old crap, don't come around, man. Don't listen to this broadcast. Go down and go to the 5%. Go to the and I ain't saying no shout at the 5%, but go down there and go with that circular cipher knowledge. We don't want no cipher knowledge here. We don't want no circular knowledge. This is only for linear knowledge. This is only for eternal knowledge. My 1%ers, you know what I'm talking about. We don't want that knowledge from the past. We don't want to hear niggas talking about the Quran and degrees and the Bible, which y'all ripped off from the goddamn Masons. We don't want to hear that. We ain't trying to hear that in this evolution, in this stage. We're not trying to hear that because y'all niggas had y'all chance, and y'all didn't do nothing. The people that came, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. all these people that came, they did their job. They made it happen. I acknowledge them. I got love for them. But a lot of you niggas that's in they groups now, y'all just here, y'all just trying to get money, y'all trying to hustle. Y'all niggas really don't know what y'all rhyme or reason is for being. Y'all just following the rotation now. There ain't no rhyme or reason for y'all. Dr. York and them had a reason. They had a reason for doing what they doing. Y'all niggas y'all just in there just taking up space, man. This ain't for this. Like I said, this is for the elect, man. The whole thing, and these simple-minded niggas don't even understand it. The whole reason for Elijah Muhammad, Dr. York and them came was to breed somebody like me, somebody that's gonna push our people into the next realm. That's the whole point. That's why you have children. You're not supposed to want your sons and daughters to be on the same level mentally as you. You understand? You understand? You're not supposed to. Your children's supposed to be on a higher mental vibration than you. But you selfish niggas, y'all got mad because you thought, oh, he don't know more than me. I've been here to such and such. My kids ain't gonna know more than me because you a bunch of selfish niggas. You should pray, and I just use that word pray. I don't really mean it. You should pray that your children know more than you. You should desire, feel that your children want more than you. You understand that? You shouldn't be small-minded like that. You shouldn't be basing your thing on jealousy. You should want them to be supreme. You understand that? And I'm just using this for a second. The Superman story, when Jor-El, he sent Superman to the earth, he wanted a better life for his son. He sent him to a planet where he would be a god on earth. He knew he was going to die. Their planet was going to explode. He sent his son to a planet where the people would be on a low mental vibration and physically on a low physical vibration, and he could come there and be a god because he was thinking about his son, the future of his son, his seed, his genetic, his bloodline. You niggas don't think like that. Y'all don't even get that. Y'all selfish. You gonna sit up here and say, there ain't no such thing as no higher knowledge. Ain't no nigga bringing no higher knowledge because I ain't getting it. I asked my nation is like, why I ain't getting it? Because it ain't for you. Everything ain't for everybody. Why was the messenger the messenger? Why was Dr. York who he was? Why was he the lamb? Because that was their job. You understand? Why the elect the elect? The elect are chosen. They choose themselves. They willing to empty out all that stuff. They willing to come without egos. They willing to come without all that nonsense because they want to build something greater. They know they're going to be a part of something. They're going to receive that linear knowledge. They're going to be walking around as the beginning or the first class of gods on earth. That almond race, those almond beings, that advanced race on earth. That's what this black race who were born 1970 and after are supposed to be turned into. Like goddamn caterpillars into butterflies, they're supposed to be turning into that god race right now. They're not supposed to be revolving in that same circular knowledge that y'all came with, that y'all got from the old people who was born in the 40s and the 30s and the 50s and beyond. They're not supposed to be getting that same knowledge. Y'all not supposed to be sharing that same knowledge with them. There's supposed to be a generation divide. There's supposed to be a generation gap from 1970 on. They are supposed to be getting a higher set of knowledge. You 40-year-old, 41-year-old, y'all the new elders. Y'all supposed to be bringing the higher knowledge. Those of you who are in tune, but you niggas, y'all still want to be in masonry. Y'all still want to be in the old stuff. So now it's time to open up to receive the higher knowledge, that knowledge of MENTELLECT for the elect, because that day was talked about that would come. And that day has come for our people to receive that higher knowledge in this day and time. That linear knowledge. That one knowledge. It's no coincidence that linear, that line looks like a one. Represents one of many things. One people, one new mind, one new body, one new soul, one people as one. Their number is one, not zero. Zero is the rotation, it's the cipher, it's the degree. We're getting the hell away from the goddamn degrees and the ciphers and the circles and the rotations. We don't want nothing, no more circular knowledge. We don't want it. We only want linear knowledge because linear knowledge will put you on a path. MENTELLECT will put you on a path to a point of no return. We don't want to repeat the same mistakes. We're not trying to go back into goddamn bondage, which is what a lot of you little niggas gonna do. You're the ones who still studied that knowledge, who still caught in this mindset. You niggas still want to sell drugs, you want to smoke your weed, you want to think ain't nothing going on. Then you end up in the prison system, and then you back in bondage again, sewing up Nike sneakers and making computer chips. You going back to bondage. That's a reality. The beast can't see you in any higher form. Then when you niggas will be sitting there going, wow, man, I can't believe this happened. Believe it. Know it. It's not going to be fantasy. It's going to be reality. Mankind moves in a revolution, in a rotation. He moves in a submental state. There is no evolution for the human race. They are mutants. They are single-cell genetic mutants that were tossed into the water with the animals. They are hybrids from the human, from the animal, and our genetic. We moved on. We are tuning into our world. Our world is coming here on this planet. Through us mentally, our world is coming here because you create a world on a planet, because the world and the planet are two different things. You create worlds on a planet. You're going to bring about an existence or a domination here, an existence here in the future that's coming. You are the first class, the beginning. You are bringing about an existence here that is linear in your world. But you have to separate. You have to move next to the circular beings, next to the rotative beings, the people who move in a revolutionary cycle. You have to move next to them, but never get inside their circle, never get involved in their life, never become a part of what they're doing. You have to move in a separate linear line. You have people that live right next to you, that exist next to you, but you don't understand anything about them. That's what you Mentellians are going to become. The Mentellians are coming out of the black race. The Mentellians, the almond beings, the mentalists, the intellectuals are coming out of the black race. You will receive higher knowledge from our linear state, from our future world, which they refer to as Nibiru, the Sumerians, which we know as Mentella. You understand? That's a future world. That's a world that's moving through space, that is not limited by solar systems. We created solar systems for this planet so that this planet can move in a rotation around it. You understand? So that time could be measured here. Math is not universal. It is not. Because it's different applied to every universe. Because the universe is not based on math. Math is based on measure or time. And time is based on the movement around the sun. So math is only on this planet, and it's based in different times in other planets and other worlds that revolve around the sun. That's how your math works. It doesn't have nothing to do with the universe. The universe has no time. It's not based in a rotation. Your planet moves in a rotation. 20 seconds, minutes, hours, it moves in a rotation. Your animals move in a rotation. If you ever listen to cats and dogs walk, they walk with ticks. Tick, 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 tick. That's how they walk. There's a reason why they walk with ticks. They walking in time. You walking in time. You understand? The humans move in a time. You're supposed to move out of time. Linear state. People who are living next to the humans but are not human. Your almond beings. That's the God race. That's supposed to be the people coming out of the black race, the elect, the almond beings. See, the majority of our people, to them, this is all BS. Well, they're not getting this because y'all already human mentally. Y'all got your genetics mixed in with the beast and the artificial people. That's why y'all can't get this. That's why y'all get bits and pieces because, see, like the humans, they get bits and pieces of knowledge because their mind, bits and pieces of their brain still carry an animal genetic. You understand that? And animals are definitely lower than humans, and humans are lower than almonds. The almond beings are the highest being on the planet. Physically, you are the highest being on the planet. Mentally, you're supposed to be the highest being on the planet. Damn Hitler, he bred this white German to be the fastest runner and stuff like that, and talk about the Superman Aryan race. Then here comes some nigga, some pork chop eating nigga from damn down south. Jesse Owens outran him. And Hitler turned around and said, if we had a bunch of men like this, we can rule the world. Talking about you black men. You understand? That day they made Jesse Owens was American. He was okay to be an American that day when he beat Hitler. This guy, Hitler's man. You understand? They had this guy training and all this stuff. That proved that you were supreme physically. But even now, that's being broken down with you niggas. Because the white man gave you a bunch of weed to smoke. You know what I'm saying? With chemicals on it. Y'all minds are going. You know what I mean? Y'all brain cells are going. So he's destroying you physically and mentally, and y'all giving into that. You understand? You are weak. You are on that submental state. You are aiding in your own destruction. Even when you try to conceal this knowledge that's trying to break through, you niggas in religion and all that, y'all are going to be concealers of this higher knowledge because y'all don't get it. Because y'all don't understand it. Y'all going to try to conceal this higher knowledge that's coming in. Oh, what higher knowledge? What's it doing for me? Nigga, it ain't going to do nothing for you. It ain't for you. You already made your mind up. You niggas that sit up here and talking about, oh, what knowledge he talking about? It ain't going to do nothing. Y'all made your mind up already. Y'all ain't trying to hear nothing but Islam, praying, fasting, looking to the goddamn sun, looking to the east and praying. Y'all not trying to hear nothing beyond that. What's that doing for you? You still ain't got nothing. You can keep praying all you want. Keep banging your head on the floor. You still ain't got nothing. All the stuff you talking about you getting, because all you doing is begging your God to give you something. You Israelites keep praying for somebody to come back, God to come back and flip this whole thing, flip this whole existence so y'all ain't got to pick cotton, so the white man can pick cotton while you sleep with his woman. Madness. Or you can notice all y'all religious beliefs and all that is based in begging. Well, you know, once we get these treaties and laws, we gonna get some buildings and all this other stuff. Yeah, okay. Okay, keep believing that. Okay. The man done moved on. We moving on. Advanced knowledge for our people. Linear knowledge. That's going to alter our lives. That will alter our situation. You'll see the power starting to take place in our people once we clear out our minds. Those of you who acknowledge the power of MENTELLECT. It's real. I will teach my people. I'm not here getting on this phone just to smash out and bang out and whatnot and on these people. I don't care about them. I do that. You know what I'm doing? This is all, you know, I hate to say the word science, but this is all calculated. Everything I'm doing, the tone of my voice is calculated. Bashing on these people and destroying them. I don't really care about them and their religious beliefs. I'm only doing this as, you know, the whole idea of dropping bombs on something to bring something off of the surface. That those diamonds or those jewels who I'm trying to bring off of the surface represent you, the 1%. You who are amongst the 99%, the ignorant ones. I'm trying to bring you out. You know how they throw bombs at the down to the ocean and whatnot, the ocean floor to bring up jewels and bring up certain things by making explosions? That's what I'm doing here. That's why my tone is different. That's why I'm bashing on these things, because I'm just pointing to real things that are taking place. I'm not trying to do it because, you know, the ignorant ones of my people, they'll hear it as me trying to insult somebody. But no, I'm actually talking about real things that are taking place. Now, if you take it as an insult because you don't like the truth, then that's on you. But the whole point of this is to bring the jewels up from the surface. You 1%ers are the jewels. I'm here to bring up the 1%, the elect, the mentellectuals. I'm here to bring y'all up. Not here for the 99%. They already made their mind up. They're not trying to hear nothing. No matter what I say, no matter what we do or accomplish, they're not trying to hear it. They want Islam. They want Judaism. They want Christianity. They just like them goddamn old dinosaurs. They like the old dinosaurs that you can't do nothing with. They just like, I remember when I heard a story about, I think I talked about this, but I'm going to say, when Maurice White, the guy who started Earth, Wind, and Fire, when he was trying to get Earth, Wind, and Fire off in 1969, because he used to be a jazz musician, you know, a drummer for jazz groups, and he couldn't get, he started having these visions. His mind, he started receiving higher intelligence. A lot of our people will receive that on the planet, but for a lot of you people who are not receiving it, y'all mentally dead. Y'all window is closed, so we're not talking to you. You just listen. But for our people who are going to receive that higher intelligence, he started receiving higher intelligence on the, you know, in 1969. His mind started to be altered, right? And he started seeing, you know, or he talked about the visions and things he was seeing, and then he came with the minds of the Earth, Wind, and Fire and all this stuff, and, you know, the name came together, and he tried to start the group with a lot of the old jazz musician guys, the guys who was much older than him, but he wasn't getting the right sound he wanted, right? He went that whole Earth, Wind, and Fire thing went through an evolution because he wasn't getting the sound. He said then he couldn't figure out why. You understand? They all musicians, but he couldn't get the sound he wanted, right? That he kept feeling it, but he couldn't get it off. And then somebody finally told him one day. They said to him, they said, Maurice, you ain't gonna never get the sound you want dealing with these old jazz musicians. You got to get all new young guys because you're trying to bring out a new music. And he was like, the light bulb went on. That was meant to happen. Things don't happen just by coincidence. That's why, and once he got his younger brother and all these guys was his age and younger, young guys, they look at what Earth, Wind, and Fire did. They made history. Look at all that music, that beautiful music they brought through in the 70s and the early 80s. So a lot of times when you build in a new house, you have to have new bricks. That's why we said in the State of Mentel Supermen, Superwomen project, nobody 42 and under for the beginning as we building up the State of Mentel. 42 and under. Y'all represent the new bricks. Y'all minds are not adulterated with all kind of crap from the last millennium. Y'all could filter out a lot of that crap. Y'all ain't got 20 and 30 years in full of crap in y'all head, full of Islam and Judaism and all that other nonsense that ain't helping our people. Because these niggas will keep us going in that rotation just because they don't want nothing else to come through. Because they not bringing it through. They'll keep us going in that rotation. They'll try to shut off and become concealers of this knowledge and say, oh, that ain't real. How's it going to help our people? Just so they don't have to bring it in. Because it's not coming to them. Still Willie Lynch. Still Willie Lynch. Our people haven't moved past that. The black man hasn't moved past that, hating on other black men or somebody who's trying to help our people. They haven't moved toward that. They haven't moved beyond that. The majority of our people, especially the older ones. So you can't do nothing with them. That's why I did that. I had to seal it off from 42 down. This is their new nation. The State of Mentel is your new nation of Islam. The State of Mentel is your masonry. The State of Mentel is your new state. It's your new knowledge. It's your Mentellect is your knowledge. Mentellect is our is the people born 1970 and after. It's our Islam. Without the Islam and all that other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? For those of you who understand my language, it's our Islam. It's our nation. It's our movement. It's our thing. And we're not sharing no goddamn flag with no Arabs, no white people, nothing else. It's our flag that's coming. It's us. And it's based in logic and higher intelligence. It's based in the knowledge of Mentellect. I said the foundation of Mentellect, intelligence, vision, ultra-standing, Mentellect, the 4 points, the foundation, the next level. We're clearing our minds out, people. We're receiving higher knowledge. We're supposed to get the jump on everybody on the planet. We're supposed to be moving forward. We're supposed to be, as you separate yourself from this circular state, from this revolutionary cycle, and step onto your linear line, you understand, and start moving forward, then you'll receive higher knowledge. You understand that? Dr. York was saying it in a somewhat primitive way, and I'm not saying he was primitive. Don't get me wrong. Don't go against my language. I'm saying that he talked about the straight and narrow path. Now I really understood what it meant. He never broke it down like that, but he just said the straight and narrow path for because he was in religion. It translates now as that linear state, that advanced state that we're supposed to be moving in. We're supposed to be moving beside the human race, not with them. We're supposed to be receiving a whole different communication. We're supposed to be receiving a whole different higher intelligence, that knowledge of Mentellect. We're supposed to see things differently. We're supposed to vibe things differently. Scientific so-called equations and things like that, ideas are supposed to come to us logically. We're supposed to be able to look at things and not see what they see. You understand? We're supposed to be able to see things differently. We're supposed to be able to look at books and words and things differently. Pull words out and see that. That's a higher sense that we got that they don't have. You understand that? We're supposed to be able to look at, say, a cadaver or a body part or whatever, or look at the scientific breakdown of the genetics and things like that, and we're supposed to see something totally different than what they see. We're supposed to see different cells that they're not going to see. Images are supposed to generate into our heads quicker than everybody else. See, because we're not thinking of anything. I said that this is not my knowledge. Mentellect has nothing. It doesn't belong to me. It's not no philosophy of mine. But to the simple-minded nigga, he going to think, oh, he got coming with some philosophy and stuff. Like, no, it's not my philosophy. Mentellect is advanced knowledge that's coming through me. You understand? It's being generated into my head. Just like visions and ideas and things generate into your head, you don't think of anything. We generate pictures into our head. We open our minds up to generate pictures into our head, and we send messages and we send pictures. That's what we're supposed to be able to do, to generate messages into other people's heads. That's if their intelligence level is raised. That's what's happening from the future state, where our great-great-great-grandchildren, who are the God race, those almond beings, they're supposed to be generating future knowledge into our head. Now, I know a lot of our people say, well, how are you talking about our great-great-great-grandchildren if they're not here yet? They are here already. They exist in the future state. The future state is already laid out, just as the past is still laid out, just as the present is still laid out. It don't go nowhere. It's continual. We laid out a continuous state here. You understand? There's a state where you exist as a baby, where you exist as a woman, where you exist as an old woman, where you exist as a dead person, where you are reborn again. Those states constantly exist. That's why you have what's called deja vu, where you have memories of things from the past, and sometimes you'll think of things in the future. That's possible because those timelines already exist. Those timelines exist. You can't have visions of the future if the future don't exist. Duh. Common sense, chosen sense. I'm sorry, not common. It ain't common. Our people, we already done dispelled the myth that sense certain higher senses is not common amongst our people. This is chosen sense. You cannot have future intelligence. You cannot receive thoughts of the future if the future does not exist. The future already exists. It's just that you have to walk into it. Just as you have deja vu about the past, that means the past still exists. There's a time where you're being born. You understand that? We made a linear line in this state that's supposed to lead us to higher states, to higher dimensions. Divided states of existence. That's what dimensions are. Divided states of the existence, which is framed by time, by energy, by light, by all these things, by the depth and the perception, because with each dimension, the picture gets clearer. The knowledge gets clearer. Does everybody who's in the listening audience understand what I'm saying? Do you have an understanding of what I'm saying? Those of you who are in the chat room, do you have, I say understanding as we introducing that word in as a complete comprehension of what I'm saying. That these timelines, that this state of existence is laid out for us. All we have to do is walk that path. All we have to do is walk on that linear state, walk out of the circular. And how you walk out of the circular is by giving up everything that you learned from the past millennium, because all that's based in circular or revolutionary knowledge. You have to give all of that up. You have to get a clean slate. A lot of y'all don't want to do that. A lot of y'all don't want to give it up. So y'all not going to receive nothing. Knowledge, higher knowledge cannot, or advanced knowledge cannot occupy the same space as primitive knowledge. Your religion, your philosophy of the last millennium is now considered primitive knowledge, base knowledge. You understand? You cannot move forward with that. We have moved on. It's time for the elect of the black race to move on. We have the knowledge to move on. We have to move on as a collective. You understand that? That's what it meant in the book of Revelation, because like I said, I talk about the book of Revelation because it's actually a future book. It has nothing really to do with the Bible. It was added to the Bible. It's a future book. It's dealing with now and into the future. You understand? Talked about this advanced race of people who would come on the earth, who would come out of the children of Israel and would be advanced and would receive the knowledge of God's name, and therefore it meaning his intelligence. You understand? The intelligence talking about the third eye, right? Or what the white man now, he was referring to as the mind's eye, because he knows the third eye to be the mind. And what is the mind? The mind is not the brain. The mind is actually the force field around the brain, or the magnetic force field around the brain that pulls in intelligence from the linear state. That is the mind. Not the brain. The brain is a physical thing. The brain is a physical thing that looks like a sponge or a muscle that has nerve endings going through it, where those passages are opened up by charges or shocks of higher intelligence, or shocks of communication that's being pulled in from the mind. You understand? To open up those passage centers. Some of y'all are not getting those passage centers opened up because y'all not receiving those charges. The charges are supposed to force those passages open, but you're not getting that. You understand that? That's happening with the elect right now. Our passage centers are being forced open. So when they hear my voice, the 1% hear my voice, their passage centers are going to be forced open. You people who closed off your passage centers based around that circular knowledge, it's not going to force anything open for you. Mentellect is going to force it open. You understand that? It's funny, but my brother Jack, he said, what did he say? I'm gonna go back to what he said. He said, let me see what he said. Earth is moving vibrations. He said, damn. He said something about something forcing something. I wanted to see what Jack said. You said something about force. Put it up back up there, Jack. If you I want to see it again. Put it back up there. You said something about it forcing. It's funny you said that. That's tuning in. Ultra standing, forcing something in. You understand? It's actually forcing open our brain centers through those mental charges that we're receiving through the mental force field, that magnetic force field that's around our brain. That magnetic force field surrounds our brain. So when you go brain dead, that means that magnetic force field shuts out. That connection is cut, and the magnetic force field goes from around the brain. That's what they mean when they say you're brain dead, and they have to keep you alive on a machine. That magnetic force field goes from around it. The magnetic force field is supposed to pull in communication and intelligence to advance your way of thinking. That's how the mind works. Y'all supposed to be receiving advanced knowledge. That's why y'all not moving anywhere, because y'all supposed to be programmed. Y'all supposed to be in a state naturally to receive advanced intelligence or linear knowledge. Y'all supposed to be receiving linear intelligence. Y'all not supposed to be receiving revolutionary knowledge. That's why y'all not moving forward. It's like trying to put diesel fuel in a goddamn regular car. Diesel fuel goes in trucks and things like that. Y'all getting the wrong knowledge put into y'all head. That's why y'all can't advance with this knowledge. I'm going to say it again. Y'all receiving revolutionary information, circular information. You understand? Y'all receiving circular information when y'all and it's not opening up your brain centers. You're supposed to be receiving evolutionary intelligence or higher knowledge or linear knowledge, line knowledge that doesn't complete. Y'all supposed to be getting fed from that. Y'all not supposed to be going in rotations and doing rituals, aka spiritual stuff. Y'all not supposed to be doing that. Your communication is supposed to be straight mental. That's what's going to drive you forward over everybody, drive you ahead of the society and put you back at your state ahead of everybody. Knowledge is power as force, like ultra standing is the force. Yeah. Linear knowledge, though. You got somewhat of the principle. Linear knowledge. Linear knowledge is the force that's supposed to force open our brain cells of the almond beings. I don't refer to us as the human beings. So all you niggas that still sitting up here talking about we human, but we different from mankind and is human. No, mankind is human. You understand? That is the beast. The beast is not just the white man. It's the human race. Those who came from the animals. That's the beast man. The East Indians, the Arabs, the Chinese, the white man. That's the beast. That's the human beings. We are the almond race. We are the almond beings. We are those people who came from pure light. We didn't come from water. We came from light, from fire. That's why our hair raises. We have a solar plex. We come from a solar-aligned planet. All right? That is our existence, where we come from. We are not, we are not born of the earth. All things born of the earth were created in water. We are not born of the earth. We came from beyond it. Look at us and look at everybody else. If you don't have to acknowledge what I'm saying to be true, look at us and look at everybody else. I'm sorry I'm not giving it from a white man's book, anything like what a lot of you Negroes need, because y'all brain dead. You need the white man to think for you. Just look at you and your hair and your skin and everything else. And look at everybody else. You obviously are not like them. There's a reason for that. You think on that. I'm going to play some music. What do I want to play? With each stage of higher knowledge, the opening of higher knowledge, comes greater vision. Because the things that we're seeing in this linear line, this procession of higher intelligence that's coming from beyond the sun, this MENTELLECT. It's not solar knowledge, because solar knowledge, that's going to be encompassed within MENTELLECT. You know, that is going to be the whole purpose of the sun is actually, to regulate light on the planet, to regulate seasons and growth and things like that, and bring up and send heat to the planet to bring things out, to make things rise on the planet, like your vegetation and things like that. The heat is necessary because it brings a rise to things on the planet, but also it's used to send messages. It's used to send messages in the sunlight. It's used to push energy and power through the sunlight to those solar beings who are the mentellectuals, the mental race. We're supposed to be receiving intelligence through that light too. You understand that? We're supposed to be receiving intelligence. We're supposed to be receiving linear knowledge through that intelligence. We're supposed to be receiving our power from that sunlight. That's the whole purpose of it. You understand that? Or should I say, do you understand that? We are supposed to be receiving linear knowledge. Knowledge that is not of the primitive circle. It is not going to resemble the knowledge that's here now. It's going to take us off of this realm, this knowledge that's coming through MENTELLECT. It's going to take us out of this realm gradually. But we have to let go of the old things in order to receive it. See, that's a big thing for our people. A lot of our people want to keep the same mentality. If you have the same mentality from the past, you will not receive this new knowledge. You won't get it. You're going to have a hard time receiving it. We've been teaching it. I tried little ways of teaching it to the people gradually, and I taught it to the brothers, and they getting it. But like I said, so a lot of our people, they're not going to get it because they still got their old ways of thinking. You have to totally abandon it. You understand? You have to totally abandon it. See, that's why the white man, and I'm going to talk about that one day, that's why the white man is in charge of the planet, is because he knows how to blank out. He knows how to totally let things go from the future, from the past, in order to receive things into the future. He knows how to make himself a blank slate, a.k.a. a white man. Y'all don't know how to do that. Y'all still want to be with traditions and customs and ashe and dancing and shaking your ass and talking about the Africans. We got to let all that go, man. It's not about the Africans. It's not about none of that stuff that was from the past. It was always about the God race. It was always about the almond beings, the future beings. We all resonating or registering on the planet as the future race. A lot of these Negroes that's walking beside you are not of the future race. That's why I said a line is going to be drawn and there's going to be a divide. Those of you who are of the future race, who are of that higher intelligence, y'all are going to receive this higher knowledge. Y'all are going to pick up my voice and y'all are going to hear what I'm saying, and y'all are going to receive the knowledge of MENTELLECT. Those people who are of the old world, it's not for them. You understand? They already made their mind up. And I'm not judging it based on when you were born. You got some more people who ready to clear their mind out and become babies and become students again. They just people that exist in the old world. You'll find your way to the knowledge of mental, like you people in the old world. You'll find your way. You understand? Some of you, but you cannot come with your old ways. You got to put that white robe on again. I told you before what that white robe represented, and you have to be disciplined, and you have to be ready to be like a baby, like a student, to be taught again. Y'all not willing to do that. You understand? Because of your ego and your pride. Ain't no nigga going to tell me nothing. He don't know nothing. But you'll go listen to the white man. You'll go read his books. He's the author or your authority. You'll listen to him. And he ain't nothing he told you ever helped you do nothing. But this will help our people. By receiving this higher intelligence, we will move to the front of the world. We will move to our place where we belong. We will produce children who will think faster. We will think faster. Our thoughts will speed up. We will be open to higher mental capabilities that we're supposed to have been received from the last millennium. But we was held up by these niggas with religion, by these niggas who are under this submental state, who are keeping us trapped. You understand? But that has to stop. When they talked about the year 2012 being the end of the, 2000 being the end of the world, that was meant to be the end of the old mindset, the mentality. When they talked about 2012 and the minds were talking about that, they were talking about actually this day that we're going through that mental collision. You understand? It's not no physical collision where we all going to blow up. It's a mental collision that's going. A whole new existence. People's worlds are going to end. Just like I said, them people in New Orleans who died, their world, that was the end of their world. You understand? Them people in Haiti, that was the end of their world. So worlds will end. When they say the end of the world, worlds will end, meaning societies, structures will end. New ones will come about. I promise you that. That's what that meant. That meant the end of the world as we know it, the way the things are being structured here. And why you notice the white man kept talking about the New World Order, the New World Order, the Illuminati kept talking about the New World Order, the New World Order, because they know that this is all coming to an end, and he's going to try to fix or restructure something else. And he's already moving on this restructuring something else. And you niggas, y'all ain't going to be part of it. You'll probably exist as part of the new slave nation that they're going to put together, but you ain't going to be part of it. Not the way you think. Because a lot of y'all still got a slave mentality. You won't come and force and build up the society of ours people. You'll be a pain in the ass of our society, or you'll come up and be like, oh, what y'all niggas talking about? Y'all ain't do nothing. But then you'll be a good nigga for the white man. You'll be a good slave for him because you never left that mentality. You ain't gonna be able to shop in that next world black woman and and think about nothing and just think about your 401k job plan and your job. That's coming to an end. And a lot of y'all too slow to see that. A new world is coming in. That's why it's important that we teach this knowledge of MENTELLECT to the elect so we can prepare our world, our linear state, our higher intelligence. Because like I said to a lot of you black people, like I said, you already got it made up in your mind. Ain't no higher knowledge, ain't no advanced knowledge coming through no black man, not no nigga. You already got your mind made up. I already know what I'm working with. I already know what I'm up against. I'm not even up against nothing because it ain't for you. I'm not even talking to y'all. You understand? I'm not going to waste my time. That's why I talk to younger people. Even if they act like idiots, it don't mean nothing. I'll just toss them to the side and we'll just go ahead to the ones who want to receive this higher knowledge because, like I said, it's for the elect. There's a reason why, like I said, that guard race, they knew what they were saying where they talked about, and you look in your Revelation, it talks about a new heaven on earth. What do you think they meant by that? A new world. You understand? A new world. Everybody keep talking about the new world. You understand? So obviously that's telling you the white man talking about the beast he know more about it than you niggas do. And you niggas, you Ar-Rahman and Rahim and y'all with y'all gods and stuff like that. He know more about the new world than you. Y'all want to keep on believing in that. You want to keep on praying back and forth and kissing crosses and whatnot. He laughing at y'all, man. You know that? That's a reality. You understand that? That's a reality. A new world is coming in. The only thing that's real is change. You ain't got to acknowledge, not say that. That's fine. You ain't got to accept it. I don't care. It's only going to be for the certain people who's going to hear it anyway. It's going to be for the chosen people. Why do you think it says the chosen people? The elect. The ones who cooperate, the ones who are going to work together as a new family, who are going to form a new family. You understand? That's what this is for. The state of Mentel is that new family. The blank people, the bright race, not the black race, the bright race. Those who are lit up, those going to receive this higher knowledge, who are going to bring out those higher capabilities, those people who are going to stand together as a group. We're not interested in what's going on in this society. We're not interested in nothing that this society is doing. You understand? We happy being the outcast. You niggas still want to be down. We don't suffer from Down syndrome like y'all. You understand? We don't want to be standing on the corner smoking weed and talking nigga nonsense, or in the club getting drunk or getting high. If y'all still desire that life, don't stay there. Stay there. Don't come amongst us. Don't come amongst us. Go be a nigga someplace else. You understand? This is for the serious minded. This is for the people that's ready to receive this higher knowledge, to breed a higher state of existence, to breed a God race out of your genetics, because your genetics are here to benefit from that and move forward. Everything happens for a reason. We bringing things in. Things are coming in because people are demanding it. You got a race of people on the planet, a group of people who are amongst the black race who are tired. See, a lot of you niggas, y'all ain't going to never be tired of the rotation. But I'm here. And this knowledge is being received right now as an evolution to our people, because you got a lot of people amongst the black race, not the black race, but amongst the black race who are walking around. A lot of y'all look like the black race, but y'all not really of the black race. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm going to teach that more in mental, like who you are more and more. I'm going to go into that. This, like I said, this is continuous. This ain't no, I'm going to just sit down and this is just the gist of it and whatnot. That's for them people who have that mindset of religion and, locked in studies and whatnot. No, we got we got a path to go, yo. This is lifetime stuff. This is our life. This is what we live in. This is the advancement of our people. But you people who thought this was a new religion, or am I trying to promote my new philosophy? I don't have a philosophy. You understand? I don't have a philosophy. I don't have a personal philosophy. You understand? I don't have that. I gave up all my personal nonsense years ago. That's why I'm receiving what I'm receiving now. I gave up my ego years ago. Y'all might hear me and be like, oh, I can't tell. He sounds like he's real egotistical. And no, I'm not egotistical. Not at all. You understand? Not at all. This takes love. This takes dedication, what I'm doing. It's hard as hell sometimes. You understand? A lot of times I don't want to do this. I don't want to teach my people. But I keep in mind that I'm not really teaching the Negroes. I'm teaching the elect, the 1%. That's for them. Y'all elect, y'all 1%. When I come across y'all and find y'all, one of y'all is worth 10 niggas. One of you elect who are amongst the black race, y'all worth about 50 niggas. 50 uncooperative niggas. You know what I mean? Y'all who gonna cooperate and work in unison with this as one mind, as one body, as one soul, as one people. Y'all worth 50 niggas because you can't get niggas to understand cooperation or work together. You understand? Because y'all driven by ego. They can't receive mentellect. Mentellect is a group knowledge. It is not an individual knowledge. Mentellect is to strengthen the body, not the individual. So don't come asking me about, well, what can I do as a person? And no, there's nothing you could do as an individual. You know what you could do as an individual? You could die. That's what you could do as an individual. Die like the rest of the black race. Because these niggas is dying, man. You can't see it. You can't smell it on them. They dying. They not even here. Like they fading away. Their conversation is going to be becoming more and more asinine. You understand that? The future is bleak for them. And like I said, even if I'm not here, it don't even matter. You understand? This evolution is still going to happen. I just open the door. If it's meant for me just to open the door, that's fine. You know? That's fine. This change is real. That's going to happen. Whether you acknowledge what I'm saying or not, I am bringing change for the elect, not for the rest of you niggas in the black race. Because y'all don't want things to change. You want to ask people, well, what's the change, brother? Then when somebody tell you, whatever, and then don't say nothing, you don't hear nothing from these niggas again. If you tell them, because I did that a lot of times. We sat up here and we talking about mentellect, and these niggas just didn't get it. They couldn't knock it down, so they just walk away. I ran into a lot of niggas who did that in the Black Power movement, or the so-called conscious movement. Asked me, what's this you teaching, brother? And I give them just a little bit. And these niggas, black power, black power, black. One guy walked away from me and went, black power, black power, black power. The nigga lost his mind. He went haywire. Why? Because it's not the same nonsense that y'all teaching. This is real. I said mentellect is not a philosophy. It is a reality. It is a reality of change, mental evolution that is taking place. Some of you people are mentally dead. You're not going to get it. It's not for you. It is not some Pan-African new black knowledge. We are not Africans. You understand? We are not of that old way and that old dynamic. We are not sectioning ourselves off like the white man told us we was in some part of the earth calling ourselves Africans. Y'all existence start with them in the mind of the white man. We are mentellians. We are mental beings. You understand? That word comes from us. Don't come from the white man and the human race. That came from us, to us in this day and time to connect back to us. The mentellians, the almond beings, the almontellians. We are that future beings. Those future race, we resonate as future beings because what that means is that we were always ahead of everybody, mentally and physically. That's why you register as new, N-U, people. Phonetically, it's still the same word, N-E-W-N-U, new people, future people. That's what that meant. A lot of this stuff you niggas keep talking about in Egypt, y'all keep talking about Egypt so much. Don't you understand even at their level of intelligence or their level of understanding was primitive for their time? They didn't understand all that stuff. That's why if you looked at their stuff, they had a lot of pictures on the wall. They was receiving some knowledge, but they didn't even understand it all because that knowledge that they was receiving was meant to be future knowledge. And they was trying to explain it the best way they can, but as we're supposed to be moving into the future, you understand? As we're moving and our intelligence is moving into the future, then we have an understanding of what it is they really were receiving, what they were trying to say. Just as your children and your grandchildren, they're going to have a better knowledge of this thing. The intelligence doesn't stop, but we're supposed to be moving as a collective, as a group of people receiving it because we represent that one mental magnet that pulls in stronger intelligence, in stronger communication. If you're trying it as an individual, that means the pulling power becomes weaker. But if you're doing it as a collective, as one mind, as one magnetic force around the brain, you're going to be pulling in higher intelligence into this realm, because all intelligence that comes into this realm is being connected to you. It's not for the humans. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to be the antenna that's receiving that higher intelligence, and you're supposed to be dispersing it as information to the human race so that you can guide them on the planet out of their way so that they can have laws to be governed by. That's how this thing is supposed to work. You're not supposed to be reading no goddamn books on information. You're supposed to be devouring logical things. You're supposed to be experimenting and doing things. You're not supposed to be sitting around reading some 400-page goddamn book from some white man about some information. That's why you niggas ain't doing nothing with it. You sitting around here consuming some information and some nonsense that he threw out for you, and he does that. You know why he does that? He does that so that you don't think. He does that so he can start programming you to think the way he wants you to think, to focus on what he wants you to focus on. So that means that's one less nigga that he got to worry about that's going to be pulling in higher intelligence. That's why he does it, because he knows that your mind is supposed to zap in and pull in, is that mental magnet that pulls in everything. There's a reason why the intelligence or the technology came to America, because you were here. Didn't come to all over Europe and stuff like that. Why did all the intelligence and the higher knowledge come here? Why? Because you were here. Wherever you are, you attract intelligence. You attract high frequencies of intelligence wherever our people are, because our mental frequency is higher than everybody on the planet, because it's a natural mental frequency. It has a natural magnetic pulling power. So you're going to pull that. It's just that it don't go into you because you niggas got your mind so low. You got your mental frequency. You moving in that submental rotative state, that revolutionary mindset with the human race. That's why y'all can't get it. But the elite of the white race and all these people, they take it. They take your knowledge. They take it. And they tell y'all, go back and read your Bibles. Go back and read your Masonic book. Go on, boy. Go on, girl. Go on. Go and read this information. While they taking your intelligence, they using you to pull it in, and they using their satellites and things, and they receiving it. That's why they come amongst you. You know, if they live amongst you, and they'll get certain ideas, and they might hear something you might say, and you might be unaware of it. It might be something you just say something simple to you. Next thing you know, they done made an invention off of it. That happened a lot in the early 1900s. They had slaves or black guys that worked for them. And a lot of blacks then came up with inventions. They were saying that Edison and all them took credit for. You understand that? I was surprised because there was a time where blacks couldn't even get patents for inventions, and you had the white man going, he would get a patent on it. And it's hard for blacks. It was black people coming up with stuff. They was receiving intelligence. Y'all wasn't receiving it on that level because y'all wasn't too far out of slavery, and some of y'all was still primitive. Y'all was primitive. Y'all was a little bit better off than y'all are now. Y'all real primitive as hell now. White man got y'all real primitive. Look at the people that's leading the way, keeping you niggas in that circular primitive state. Lil Wayne, you understand? Nicki Minaj, all the Pied Pipers of ignorance are there for your children to follow. You understand? The Pied Pipers of ignorance. You understand? These niggas in the conscious community, the Pied Pipers of ignorance, still talking about some goddamn movies and stuff like that. They're not talking about anything. They here to entertain you. You niggas, the whole thing of how to dumb you down is by entertaining you. You understand? So that you don't take anything seriously. So that you're not really thinking. I mean, some things you can inject in with jokes and stuff like that, make you think. I try to be light when I'm serious, but then I'm light. You know, people find folly in how I say things. That's cool. That's fine. But I'm more interested in what you're taking away from it. The elect of you. I'm only here for you. I'm not focusing on the black race. My people, I'm focusing on my people who are amongst the black race. So those of you who hear my voice and here it is when I'm talking about you, and you connect in, then it's for you. And you come into the state of mental and you come in as a blank slate. You putting on that clean white robe. And I say that clean slate is you ready to dump out everything. That's what I tell you when you come amongst us, when we do the Supermen, Superwomen project. Dump out everything you learned in the past because it don't mean nothing. It's not going to mean nothing in this new millennium. You understand? That 12th month, that 12 years, the 12th with the Mayans was talking about December 12, 2012, that represents the three-dimensional state The 1 and the 2 represents the three-dimensional state. Now we have to raise the vibration to the as the 13th tribe that I told y'all was in the Mentellian race, that to the 13th, which is 1 and 4, which represents the mental state or the frequency on a higher level. That's why I said the beast is trying to get to you through the mind, which is going to be the 6-4 that's coming in, from 366 to 4 from 366 from 3 6s to 4 6s. They're working on it. That's the future. They moving to throw you back in the circle. That's just a little bit of MENTELLECT. It's continual knowledge. Questions, comments? We in the last 10 minutes of our broadcast. There will be one who will come to electrify the minds or electrify the people, the elect, into a frenzy. Get their minds working again. Get that machine working again. You understand? There will be one who will come, who will get the minds that generated that mind on that path, on receiving that linear knowledge, away from receiving the cipher knowledge, the circular knowledge. Those of you who are serious and sincere, put on that white robe, clean your minds out, because we're going to teach things that are going to be relevant to our evolution. Ain't no more knowledge that ain't relevant, that sound good, and niggas just talking, and ain't nobody changing nothing. We ain't getting nothing. Like I said, money is easy if we work together and cooperate. Money is easy. We don't need no scams. We don't need food, clothing, and shelter will be the small things. That'll be small in this evolution if you cooperate and we work together and live for this evolution of our people. We're not interested in nothing outside this, because you niggas not talking about nothing. Those that elect the 1%, y'all tired of this world. You tired of talking about the white race, because you niggas love the white race. Y'all in the Facebook, y'all keep talking about the white man this and the white man that. I only talk about the white man in reference to our evolution because of what has been done and what he's doing, but I don't care about him. After a while, I'm not going to be talking about him no more. He's not important, just like the human race is not going to be important. You understand? They're not going to be important in our evolution. I just make comparisons to show you something, because y'all minds are trapped within the human race. I'm not interested in them. We are of another time. My mind is of another time. It's of the future. This is for the future race. The Mentellians, the Mentellectuals. Go to the SOM.info, the SOM.info, the SOM.info, the State of Mentel's official site, and read the About Us section. See who the State of Mentel is. We are a new millennium group, started in 2012. Even though it was a build-up for the last 12 years, we was in a state of evolution until we officially came into the light. You understand? As that advanced people. Don't look for us to come with no nonsense from the past millennium. We're not interested in none of that past stuff. We're not interested in nothing from the past. Nothing. We know the history. We know our people was Egyptians. We know about the African. We know about all those titles. Yeah. All right, move on. It's time to move on. For you people that ain't ready to move on, oh well, have a nice day. You ain't interested in the future, have a nice day. We ain't got time to be hearing y'all emotional problems and why you got a problem with this and you don't like how I said. We don't give a goddamn, man. MENTELLECT. That's the importance of everything. The Supermen, Superwomen Project will be taking place in New York City on the 20th, May 20th. Those of you 42 years and under are welcome to come out. Those of you over 42, it's not for you right now. For the initial classes we doing, the State of Mentel, Supermen, Superwomen classes, it's going to be about the survival, the coming together, the betterment of better men, better women, making better men, making better women out of those people that were born 1970 and after. Send your sons, send your daughters. That's it. If you are over 42 years old, send your sons and send your daughters out. You understand? Because this is their Nation of Islam. This is their finishing school. This is their future school. You understand? This is for their evolution. Because I'm sure they're not doing a damn thing but sitting around being prey to niggas that standing around in the corner smoking weed, standing on the corner talking about a bunch of nigga nonsense or listening to some bad hip-hop or some nigga trying to get in your daughter pants. You understand? Trying to get her pregnant at an early age or wasting her time. We're not doing that here. We about the evolution and development of our next generation, the future race. That's what we're doing in the State of Mentel. Join us Friday, where we're going to be talking about the new effeminate black male. We're going to be talking about that. This phenomenon is taking place amongst black males, young black men who are not being raised by fathers. And even though a lot of you Negroes do raise your sons, some of y'all are y'all already males already. Y'all don't know how to be men, so you raise little males too. So it's pretty much like you're not around anyway because you don't know how to be a man. You shouldn't be raising up 2 generations of kids on hip hop, but a father and a son. But that we'll talk about that. Questions, comments. We in the last. Well, look like we got 10 minutes, but it just seems like I don't know. Maybe my clock is fast. Questions and comments. I'll open it up because as I was saying, why the white man will always be in power. I'm just using him for an example. Like I said, we're going to stop talking about him. But why he's always going to be in power is because he knows how to make himself a blank slate. What did the Spanish call him? Blanco, right? Blanco, white man. He don't hold on to traditions and customs like you niggas do. He don't do that. He's always ready to take something and move on. I mean, he'll talk about George Washington and the Revolutionary Seas and all, but he ain't like fanatical about it. It's just like he knows how to put his history in the past. You niggas don't. Y'all try to live y'all history. Y'all walking around with onks on and goddamn big ass head, big ass tall bushes on and all that stuff. Y'all trying to live that. The white man done moved on, and then you wonder why he's still controlling you. Because he's trying to move in the future. Y'all stuck in the past. Y'all walking around with damn robes on and sandals like you somewhere in the Middle East somewhere. Then you wonder why y'all not controlling nothing on the planet. How the hell do you control anything in a world that's constantly changing and evolving? How do you take charge of the future when you living in the past? How do you do that? How do you take charge of the future when you living in the past? You walking around dressing in the past. You still talking about some old ass outdated teachings and some documents that you think they're gonna listen to. They done moved on, man. They ain't paying no attention to y'all. Y'all a joke to them. That's real. Y'all a joke. Y'all Islam, y'all Christianity, y'all Judaism, all y'all beliefs is a joke to them. They moved on, man. They on the next step. They understand the only thing that's real is change, man. Y'all still don't get it, and a lot of y'all ain't gonna never get it. Giving our people something better, but y'all not willing to receive it. So, the clock is ticking on y'all niggas. It's ticking on y'all. Like I said, join us Friday night at 9 p.m. We're gonna be talking again. The new effeminate black man. And I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. If we have no more questions, I am going to retire. Let me see what I want to close out with. Oh, yeah, I ain't heard this in a while. Aquarian Angel. About 5 minutes. Good night, everyone.